Now we're going to talk about the order in which expressions are evaluated if you have a statement that has sub-expressions in it. We've seen here that if we have a equal to 1, b equal to 2, c equal to 3, a plus b times c is 7. What that implies is that the b times c is grouped together and performed first. 2 times 3 equals 6, plus 1 equals 7. Otherwise, if it were grouped like this, first performing a plus b, and then times c, we would get 1 plus 2 equals 3 times 3 equals 9. And in fact, if I execute this, that's exactly what I get. And these ordering rules are called rules of precedence and association. And really there are just two basic rules being stated here. One is that exponentiation, that is raising something to a power, and the sign for that is the caret sign, the upward facing arrow, has the highest precedence. That is, this function is performed first before anything else. Then you get times and divided, and then you get plus and minus. So the two rules are exponentiation before anything else, and multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. So those are the rules of precedence. The rules of association are with multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, you go from left to right. With exponentiation, you go from right to left. So let's take a look at that. So let's take 3 squared, 3 to the second power, and we get 9. So then 3 to the second power times 3. So what will this mean? Will this mean 3 to the second power, that is 9 times 3 equals 27? Or will it mean 3 to the 2 times 3 power, that is, to the 6th power, which would equal 729. So let's take the parentheses off here and see what Max comes back with. And it comes back with 27. And the reason for that is that the exponentiation took precedence over the multiplication. So Max performed the exponentiation first and then the multiplication. So let's try a similar thing with 3 to the second power to the third power. Let's see what this equals. So let's copy this and let's group it. Take 3 squared first and then take that to the third. So we can see that's quite a different result. Let's copy that and regroup that. And that's the same result we got without any grouping. So this is what we mean when we say that exponentiation is right associative. Max starts grouping from the right, going to the left. In other words, it does 2 to the third first, and then uses that as an exponent for 3 here. So one other thing that I'll mention is that there are special rules for the precedence of functions. We really haven't covered functions yet. That's in another movie. But a function call has a lower precedence than an operand, but a higher precedence than any math comparison or logical operation. So they give the example that the sign of x plus 1 is evaluated as the sign of x plus 1, not the sign of x plus 1. So let's take a look at that. Here we have the sign of 1. It's equal to this number. The sign of 2 is equal to this number. The sign of 3 is this number. So what is the sign of 1 plus 2? It's the sign of 1 plus 2, not the sign of 3. In other words, this statement is grouped like this if you don't group it explicitly. In order to get the sign of 3, you would have to put the parentheses in yourself like this. And all these rules of precedence, by the way, can be overridden by explicitly putting in parentheses. So if you put in parentheses, that will override the default rules of precedence. And that completes this movie on precedence and association.